Hey guys, welcome back to Rusty Judgment. So we bought that farm property. So we're working on it. We're cleaning it out. And I drive by it every single day. And I drove by it today, and the roof on the shed is completely collapsed. It must have had too much snow weight on it, and the trusses must have snapped, is my guess. And so I am headed out there right now with the plow truck to go and open the driveway up and I guess get a better look at it. It freaks me out. I already called their insurance company. It freaks me out because I've never had a claim. I've never had like a big issue or I've never had a problem like this before. And I've got 5 buildings at home that I'm worried about now. So, but once we check it out there, I need to head home, and I'm sorry, I'm like panicking right now. I need to get all of our roofs at home cleaned off because I really don't want this to happen to any more buildings. Oh man, that sucks. Oh man, not what I was hoping for with this property. Yeah, that entire roof is destroyed. Alright, well I guess it is what it is. We gotta fix it now. So here's the thing too. Our first insurance company actually canceled us 2 weeks ago because they found out this used to be an old farm, which I didn't realize was a problem. But so they realized this was an old farm, and then they said they wanted to cancel the policy. So we just switched to a new insurance company 2 weeks ago. So a brand new insurance company, and the roof collapses, and it's not even like I guess I'm gonna trust that the insurance company is gonna cover it and we're gonna get it replaced or whatever. I don't think we have enough coverage on this building to rebuild it in 2023. Which is my fault because I'm cheap. Like pretty much every building on all of our properties are undercovered, which we're probably going to go and change that right now. But man, it's just so much more work now, and it's sad. Like, this was a perfect old building. Well, I guess not, the trusses weren't strong enough, but anyway, I'm gonna get to plowing this out, and then I'll peek inside here and see. I'm sure it's just a collapsed roof full of snow. And then add insult to injury. You guys can probably guess what's going on here. Dawn's on her way out with my other pickup. This is I think the 3rd or 4th time she's had to pull me out this year. We've had a lot of snow this year, which probably makes sense why that happened. It's just sad. Like, you know, buildings can be replaced, and like contents in them can be replaced and all that. I think it's just sad because this building's probably been here for, man, 80 years, 60 years. So if I look here, there was probably quite a bit of snow on that roof. But man, it just, everything inside is toast. These are all cracked. You can see a crack right there in that one. These over here were cracked as well. Yep, no bueno. Yeah, so these walls are, this wall's bowed in. These doors are all buckled. The door on the north gable wall there is all pushed out. Oh, that one's all kittywampus, all wonky. So I wasn't worried about the shed. I was worried about these trees. Like at the springtime, I was gonna cut. Like I hate to get rid of these trees, but like it was going like straight over the building, and they're growing like all. So I was gonna get rid of all of them because they're just they're going all over the place. But no, I mean, we'll still probably take that one off. And then I don't know if we'll end up building a new building or what we're gonna do here, but I guess we'll see what the insurance company comes back with. Now the concern is this guy, because this barn is priceless in my opinion. How do you get the snow off of that? And then the buildings at our house, our office building and my shop, which right now the shop's just a cold storage shed, but it's gonna be a shop. So those two roofs are my next concern.
There's a truck. Oh, hello, Dawn's towing service.
Dawn's towing service. What do you think of our building over there?
Yeah.
Like I was saying, you know, it's not that I don't think the insurance company is going to cover it or anything like that. It's more just sad.
Yeah, a perfectly good building. And isn't it wild how many winters it's been here and made it through, and
right.
now this one, whatever reason.
Yep.
Yeah, it's sad. And it was a good roadblock too.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. So with what we have for insurance coverage on that building, we probably will not be able to rebuild the whole building without us having to pay something too.
Yeah.
So then we're looking at rebuilding a smaller building. So then it's less roadblock, right?
Yeah. So.
Or we don't.
More trees. So the reason the snow was different this winter, and that's part of why this happened, right?
Yeah, so Dawn and I were actually just talking that we've never actually considered the fear of a roof collapsing before. This winter, we've actually got a ton of snow that was like really heavy and wet. And so the more wet the snow is, obviously, then the heavier it is. And then when it thaws and freezes, then it turns into like a big layer of ice and snow stuck to the roof.
It doesn't slide off, and it takes longer to melt than to.
Right.
Yeah. So it was really accumulating this winter. We've had a really snowy winter in general, but again, because it was so wet and heavy, it really accumulated on the roofs this year like it hadn't in the past.
Right. And so like we've owned houses for 15 years, and never once have we ever thought of this.
And the building codes are different here too to accommodate snow load. And you hear about it when we look at building new buildings and stuff, but it's all theory, right? Until it actually happens.
Right. I see how people build buildings down in like Tennessee and Texas and stuff. You see like the thin little metal structures they use. They're like, that's cute. Like that wouldn't last one winter up here.
Yeah. And what else was kind of crazy is just right here in this area, another shed caved into.
Ooh.
And down the road from us too.
Yeah, one across the road, down the road a ways, theirs collapsed, and then another one near our personal residence collapsed.
And so that's why Tom, if you could sense the stress in his voice earlier, that's why. And you came home and you were like, I got to get the snow through us. And I was
panic.
like, I think those buildings are new enough. I think they'll be okay.
I'm like, no, we are underinsured, Dawn. You are cheap and I am cheap. We are underinsured.
I feel like you had like the insurance agent on here with the snow rake, like here.
Well, and I'm also thinking at home, I'm like, first off, I did a ton of work to those two buildings.
Yeah.
I don't care if the insurance company would fix it. I don't want to rebuild them.
Yeah.
Like, I just want them to last forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did hear back from the insurance company. It wasn't exactly what we were expecting, so we'll tell you about that here towards the end.
All right, here's what I'm doing for now. So I'm standing on the back of my F-350. I'm not doing anything with that building right now because I haven't figured out how to get to that high section yet. So my father-in-law had a roof rake, which I knew he had. I just also knew that it wasn't really gonna get high enough. So it takes a long time. So you toss it up and you pull it back and you pull the snow off. And you just keep working your way to the top. The problem is, the reason I'm standing on the F-350 is because, that's as high as I can get right there. Granted, that's pretty high. That's a lot of snow off of there. But this building's much smaller than that building. I wouldn't even be able to get to the edge of that building. So that's why we're gonna do this building for now. And then I'll figure out, I don't even know how to get up there without, anyway, never had this problem before. It's supposed to get warm in the next, like not now, but in like within 5 days, it should get warm. Okay. But then it's gonna snow again after that. So when it gets warm, ideally you would hope that it just slides off, because that's typically what happens. Like even, like you see all that snow piled in front of the porch, that was all adrift on the porch that slid off.
Yeah.
So we can hope that the whole roof does the same thing over the next couple days, but I don't know.
Okay.
which is why I'm doing this up here.
Yeah, you're getting a good workout in.
I know. I was actually thinking I really shouldn't have worked out this morning. Like my shoulders are like, what are you doing to me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Well, it is almost 11 p.m. and I'm out in our shed concerned about my roof. I pulled snow off the office building earlier today, but I couldn't figure out a way to really get up onto this roof without risking my life. There's a ton of snow on this side. There's snow over here too, but there is a ton of snow on that side. So I've been at my in-laws. This is a jumbo heater of my brother-in-law's. He actually has one bigger than this, believe it or not. But it's running right now, and I understand my building is not insulated, but what it's gonna do in theory is all the heat will rise, and we just need to get the temperature increased a little bit, and hopefully it will just slide off. That's the idea. So I'm gonna let it run all night, and then I will come out and add fuel to it tomorrow, let it run all day until the snow slides off the roof of the building. Well, I'd say that heater's working. That heater ran all night last night. It's still running right now. And it looks like the shed has slidden about half off. And I would say that it's working because I just had to run to town, and none of my neighbors' roofs on their buildings are sliding off, but ours is. And so I'm gonna guess and say that heater did what we wanted it to do. The roof's about 50% clean on this side. I think once this side drops, so the sun was out. Hopefully the sun can break through those clouds today and beat on here, and then get the rest of that to slide off. Because if it will, then I'll move that heater over to the addition part of the shop or the shed, and get that side warmed up, because we still got the divider wall in there from the old building. I think it's more just sad, and like, I don't want to sound like it's a huge inconvenience. It's a
huge pain in the butt.
Yeah, and like luckily we were gonna have your dad put a bunch of tractors in there, and I mean, praise God we didn't,
right?
Because they'd have a bunch of damaged tractors too,
right?
That
is a good thing. No one had anything in there. No renters had anything in there. That would have made it much bigger hassle.
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. And we still have no idea what's gonna happen with it. We're like an hour in from finding out about it, so we don't know what the journey will be moving forward. But I just look at it and think this just makes much more work for me, because I had no intentions on doing anything with this building. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I am glad it was that building and not the barn.
Oh, agreed. So, you couldn't rebuild the barn.
No. And I still remember the day our barn at our house growing up collapsed from snow. Similar thing. It was getting old. My parents had always intended to do some structural stuff to it to make it stronger, but you know how it goes. That just all takes, these barns take a ton of money if you want to restore them and keep them up. Yeah. But I just remember the day we actually heard a noise of just this whoosh, and we looked out the back window of our house, and it had totally collapsed, and it's just really sad. You're it's been there for 100 years, and now it's not anymore. This one's not that cool, and it hasn't been there that long, but it's still just kind of well, that sucks.
So speaking of barns, do you look up this ceiling here?
I don't know. There's a whole lot we could do with that one.
No.
We'll just pray blessings over it.
Yeah. You told me you pray for this place every time you drive by.
Every time I drive by.
Although maybe
I didn't think to pray for that. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'll add that to my list now.
Right. Yeah, super boomer.
Yeah.
I've only owned this place for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yep. But I guess it kind of is what it is.
It is. So
move on from here.
Wait and see.
Yep. So I was up super late getting all that taken care of, and then I got up early this morning I think I was out there at 5. I took the skid steer with a pallet up in the air right here, and I stood on the pallet, and I pulled snow off from here to here. I pulled as much snow down as I could, because I really don't want to lose a building roof again. Once is enough. But it looks like it's sliding down now, which is great. I don't have to get back up there. My body is like super sore now from doing all that. Now we gotta hope that the barn drops, because I see the barn's got a bunch of snow on. Up over there, the very top ridge line looks like there's a lot of snow up there, but I'm not doing anything about that. So we're just gonna hope that that slides off. That's a lot steeper though too, so hopefully if the sun comes out, because I think it's supposed to be warmer today, like 32, 33 degrees. Hopefully all this stuff will just drop and I don't have to worry about it anymore. That just goes to show you how thick that snow is up there. It's quite a bit, and we got quite a bit of piles sliding off here.
All right, so you heard back from the insurance company.
I did.
A little runaround, of course.
Runaround for sure.
Yep.
Insurance companies are the greatest.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, you and I haven't talked about this, but I actually think that this roof collapse, as much more work as it adds to my plate that I was not planning on doing, I think it actually might be a blessing in disguise.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. There are, I think, two reasons. Wait, no. So the insurance company is going to pay us in two different waves, like one rate, and then once it's completed, they'll pay us another rate.
So they depreciate the building, and because it's a very old building,
Yes.
they depreciated it really low, the value of it. So
Yes.
they'll give us that up front so we can start doing the repairs.
Yes.
And then once it's complete, then
Once
we
it's
can
complete,
get the rest of it.
Yeah, once it's complete, we need to show them pictures and receipts of it completed, and then they will reimburse us for the total loss value of the building, the total thing. But I think the blessing in disguise is, first off, yes, it's a bunch of work that I have to do now I wasn't planning on. But this building, I don't know if you all remember, the tin is like full of holes, like not the roof, the walls. Like somebody shot a bunch of 22s through, like a lot of holes. I don't know if it was recycled tin or what. So the tin was needing to be replaced at some point anyway. We weren't going to do anything. We will re-tin it now, but the cool part is, I guess, I think I only had one reason why it was a...
Well, it's going to be, like, it will be a very nice shed when we're done with it.
Yes.
It just wasn't on our project list with everything else going on. So the wrench and things, though, initially we were kind of like, we'll probably just tear it down and start over.
Yeah, and just build like a smaller one or something.
But what did we find out?
So turns out the road that this house is on, it's not super close to the road, but turns out there is a jumbo easement that the road owns.
Like right up to the back of the shed.
3 feet off the back of the shed. So if we tear this building down completely, we will not ever be allowed to rebuild it, because then we would have to probably build it on the other side of the house, which defeats the purpose of, in our opinion, of it being where it is.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to do that.
No. So we have to work with what's here.
So we are legally allowed to fix the structure in place, but if we take it down, it can't ever go back up there.
And it has to go up. Like, it blocks the yard from the road. Like, you all hear the road.
Yes.
But when you're in the yard, it actually feels very private because
of the shed. Yes. Without the shed, I think you'd feel kind of naked and exposed.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. Hey, you know how I'm like OCD with security and locking stuff up? Good thing I put a brand new padlock on this building.
Right, yeah, super secure.
Real secure.
Unless someone drops in from the ceiling.
There's two good things here. I keep saying two. What is up with sets of twos?
I'm just really happy with your rosy outlook on things, because that's not usually the case.
Right, but it has been a while. I've thought about this for a while.
Kind of process, true.
So I looked up I ordered trusses for the building, so we have new trusses on the way, which take forever right now for some reason to get trusses. So we will have new trusses to go in. Dawn's parents, first off, have I told you guys how awesome they are? My in-laws are the greatest.
Yeah.
They have great kids too. So they, on their farm, had an insurance claim and had all the roofs on all of their buildings replaced last year. They kept all of the tin off of it. And the tin off of it was like 15 to 20 years old, I would say. Mm-hmm. So it's just sun faded. Little bitty dimples in it from hail. Mm-hmm. But they kept all of it. Mm-hmm. And my father-in-law said, you take as much as you want, re-tin the roof of that building. And I was like, that is awesome.
That would be awesome.
Because their tin is actually way thicker. If you know anything about pole barn tin, which you probably don't, some of you do, the stuff you get at Menards is wafer thin. It's not super, there's two different thicknesses you can get. It's wafer thin. And so the tin that her dad had taken off all the roofs, it's like really thick, like it's strong. And then trusses, and then put new purlins on. We are going to put overhangs on the building. There were never overhangs before. We'll do overhangs, and then we'll eventually re-tin all the walls white.
And then we're thinking, because it'll be used tin on the roof, which will help save a lot of cost, then with still fitting within the budget that they're giving us to replace it, that we could potentially put in a couple overhead doors instead of the big sliding doors.
Yes.
So that would actually make it function a whole lot better, because it's only a 1-car garage too on the house.
And we have no intentions on adding onto the garage or anything like that. We want to leave all of that
We really
the way
are
it
trying to keep this simple, believe it or not.
Yeah, believe it or not. So, doing all that to the building, we'll have to buy like some soffit material and stuff too, which that, I mean, just kind of is what it is.
So it's going to look, I mean, it'll look very nice
beautiful.
Compared, I mean, this wasn't a super attractive shed, but
The
sheds
only
are
attractive
sheds.
thing
Like,
at this house is the barn.
Yeah, no, but still, to have a shed to store things in, especially for someone that's coming to a horse property or something like that, like, it's very valuable.
Right.
And we didn't actually talk more about the barn too, because we went in the barn again to look at windows, which we'll show coming up, but like, the
poles
the
in the
support
center
poles in there are kind of leaning, and so we're gonna, if someone rents this, like the barn will be off limits, because we're gonna have to have someone come out and look at that and see what we're gonna have to do. But I think we're gonna have to bump that up in priority now to.
Oh yeah, and the barn needs an engineer.
We'll get professionals like that.
Not the engineer that I hired from that other moved-in house. We're calling it the crack house, by the way. You can figure out why. So an actual engineer that knows about barn structures, because this barn needs to be saved. It is leaning a little bit, which I don't know if it was before or not.
Right.
But we don't want it to lean.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need to have somebody look at it and hopefully not give us a really ugly number to fix it or to make it last.
Yeah, because we really do want to preserve it, but.
Yep. Obviously, you're not going to stick a fortune into it.
Yeah. So.
Anyway.
We'll see. If you know any good engineers in the Twin
Barn
Cities area,
people.
Let us know.
Yeah. So anyway, the shed collapse was like a catastrophe in its moment, but now looking back a little bit removed from it, I think that it's more work, but in the end, I think it'll be a better.
Yep, it will be, but it's
just more work. No big deal, guys.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for watching. Here's a little story. My character here may have lost part of his identity.
Oh, the sunglasses.
I lost the sunglasses in a snowstorm, and I think I ran him over and pushed him into a snowbank with a plow.
He would do that.
He would do that. Can't find him.
So until you order a new pair, you can't do it.
I don't know.
Because now you have to actually look the camera in the eye.
First off, here's the deal. Those were the stupidest sunglasses ever. I'm not going to tell you who makes them. You can guess. They were the stupidest sunglasses ever.
Careful.
They were. No one watching this channel wears those.
All right. Well, hopefully he'll be back next week.
And with something on his face. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.